Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Salaki, I want to start off giving all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, who I learned this truth from, and peace and salutations to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing its truth and sincerity and meekness without wavering, as well as risking their life and freedom to do so. This is your brother Aishiar from the GMS Cleveland Church, and I'm back with another lesson, and Lord willing, it is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. Alright, and we're going to hop right into it. This is a video from MS Now. I'm not sure what MS means, but the title of the lesson is Naked Ignorance. As Trump shatters U.S. alliances, legislators try to pick up the pieces, right? So, I had watched this video earlier today, and, the one of the women, on the video, I believe she's from either Greenland or Denmark, or one of the European nations. She was pretty much speaking on how America's nakedness is showing. So I looked up the phrase naked ignorance, right? What does naked ignorance mean? It says naked ignorance means ignorance with no cover, excuse, or disguise. Being plainly, openly, or embarrassingly unaware of something. Think of it as ignorance that's fully exposed. So if you type in the scriptures the word naked, right? There's plenty of precepts that pop up, and I'm going to give one, and I'm referring to Isaiah 47, and the word naked pops up 45 times. Okay, so we're going to go to Isaiah. Let's type in nakedness, right? Because you have naked and you have nakedness. Okay, so the word nakedness pops up 43 times. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and I'm going to start at verse 3. And as you see, it says lament for Babylon. This Babylon that's being spoken about, as you see in the first verse, it says, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So ancient Babylon has an offspring, which we believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that land, that the offspring, the virgin daughter of ancient Babylon is the United States of America. Okay? Because as you see in verse 3, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is not going to meet the world as a man. He's going to meet him. He's going to meet the world as a God with an indestructible body, okay, with spiritual power. That's how the Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is coming back, especially to visit the United States of America, Babylon the Great, okay, because this place is it's no shame. Okay, the blasphemous words that the horn spake. Speaking of Daniel the 7th chapter, it's talking about the United States of America, man. Once again, Isaiah 47:3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So let's go into this word, naked. Alright. So Strong's H6172, it says nakedness, nudity, shame, pudenda, parentheses, implying shameful exposure, nakedness of a thing, indecency, improper behavior, exposed, undefended. Right. So let's look up this word pudenda, because I never heard of this word before. It says a person's external genitals, especially a woman's, right? And America is being exposed, man. Alright? So let's check this video out. All right, and we're gonna close out because America is being exposed. Okay, is being seen as that as an unruly land. Okay, starting with the so-called president of the United States, DJ Trump. Okay, which really he's a puppet to the wicked elite banking families as the rest of these leaders of these nations. But he knows what part he plays in the holy scriptures, and he's doing his best. Okay, he's putting on an A1 performance, if you might say. Okay, he doesn't give a fuck about how the other nations see in the United States of America, Babylon the Great. He knows that he has control. Well, America has control over the whole entire planet Earth, and they're going to bow. All nations are going to submit unto him. They already submit unto the United States of America. America, okay, has the petrodollar. Okay, the petrodollar reserve is the pretty much, if you might say, is the primary currency when it comes to oil, oil reserves and petrol trades and stuff like that. The American dollar, okay, no country is able to match the power of the American dollar, man. Okay, showing you that the United States of America, Babylon the Great, has the whole world in subjection unto it. Okay, so let's check this out.
See, all Trump has managed to do with this ridiculous.
And I want to say this too. I do not own any rights to this video. Okay, I'm just using it for educational purposes. I'm not gaining any monetary. I'm not getting any monetary gain from using this video. Once again, educational purposes, man.
Further destroy America's relationships with some of our closest allies. And if left to serious lawmakers to try and pick up the pieces. Joining me now is one of those lawmakers, Congressman Madeline Dean, is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee who just returned home from Davos. There's so much to ask you about. Thank you for being here. First of all, I really just skimmed what was in the speech this morning. Let me start by asking what your takeaway from all that was.
Well, I was quite busy today, but I did have a chance in the car on my way to work to hear some of it, and it was jaw-dropping. And it shouldn't be. We should be used to this President Biden. Unfortunately, we're not. We must not normalize this erratic, unhinged, untethered to reality behavior of the President. I thank you for that introduction and giving me some of the snippets of what was said. I know one of the great takeaways was the fact that he said military forces off the table. I put in parentheses for now, because this President is so erratic. First of all, I really just skimmed what was in the speech. And it shouldn't be. We should be used to this President Biden. Unfortunately, we're not. We must not normalize this erratic, unhinged, untethered to reality behavior of the President. I thank you for that introduction and giving me some of the snippets of what was said. I know one of the great takeaways was the fact that he said military forces off the table. I put in parentheses for now, because this President is so erratic. By Friday, that could be back on the table. I just returned from Davos, but much more importantly, from 3 days in Copenhagen, where 10 of us.
Yeah, in Davos, if you don't know, Davos, Switzerland, is where they hold the WEF meetings. Okay, these summits where leaders of these nations, okay, they come together and they conspire on how to bring about a new world order, if you might say. Okay. And they do it once a year, and they do it at the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken, when the so-called New Year comes in. Okay. So let's keep playing.
Democrats, Republicans, House and Senate members met with the Prime Ministers of both Greenland, and Denmark. Met with members of Parliament from both areas. Met with foreign ministers. Met with business leaders, industry leaders. And what every one of them expressed to us was just devastation at the disrespect, the breach of trust, the breach of an alliance of 75 years. Denmark was a founding member along with the United States of NATO. They were the first to step up after 9/11. You know this better than I. From your past experience, both in the White House and the State Department, the importance of our allies, our NATO allies. They could not understand, and frankly, we, as elected members of Congress, could not understand the President's ambitions and threats toward our NATO friend and ally.
It's such an important point that they came to our defense after 9/11, as NATO did. And when Trump keeps saying out there, they won't come join us, they won't be with us, that is one of the biggest examples, the biggest example in U.S. in global history of NATO coming to the defense of a partner, and it was in response to a tragedy that happened on our own soil. The point you raised about distrust and trust, I hear this so often when I talk to former colleagues and national security officials, in the fear of kind of the damage done. It feels different than the first term. And I don't know, you may not have seen this because I know you had a very busy day today, but one of the things that the Prime Minister of Canada said today, and they have been one of our oldest and closest and firmest friends forever, was that the international rules-based order is not only over but false. He said we are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. And as much as it may sound to people like, oh, it's Canada, there's so much going on here, this huge...
Yeah, so it's not a rule-based order anymore. Why? Because Esau, Edom, specifically the United States of America, Babylon the Great, is showing its horns. Okay, it says it compares the United States of America, Babylon the Great, in Isaiah 50, I believe, the hammer of the earth. Okay, meaning what? What does a hammer do? It beats it beats down nails, and they consider these other nations as nails. Okay, it's literally a quote out there. You can look it up. Okay, America is the hammer, and pretty much every other country is a nail. And what does America go and do? It nails these countries. It nails them to the ground, man. Okay, or just pretty much beats them into a post as you would do a nail. Okay, so they saying it's a rule. The rule-based order is over with because just a couple weeks ago, what happened? You had the United States of America pretty much going to Venezuela and take over that land. That's why they're saying there's no more rule-based order, man. Because why? What America is doing is showing that there are no rules. America doesn't play by the rules, man. Okay, look at how this country was established. Okay, starting with the North American Indian. Okay, the tribe of Gad, the nation of Israel. Okay, you had the guy Andrew Jackson. Okay, you had something called damn, I forgot what it's called. But nevertheless, the Indian Removal Act. Okay, they came up with paperwork to pretty much remove the North American Indian, the tribe of Gad, and from certain areas, from pretty much the whole not the whole entire, but from America, and put them on reservations, man, small reservations, man. Okay, they don't play by the rules, man. They broke over hundreds of peace treaties with the so-called North American Indian, man. And you think this devil is going to keep his word? It tells you that in the book of Isaiah, Psalms the 55th chapter, right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, in verse, I'm going to start at 20. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. And I don't even have to read more, man. That's the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, man. Okay? These nations seem to be at peace with him. But guess what he goes and does? He stabs you in the back. That's why it says in verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart. Because he'd tell you one thing, but his actions would tell you another. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, man. So see, the so-called white man, never trust him. Okay? Like the elder Malcolm says, if you see a bald head Edomite with a suit and tie on, don't trust them, man. Okay, they up to no good. But all Edomites are up to no good. It says as soon as they be born, they go astray speaking lies, man. So you can't trust the so-called white man. Not only here in the United States of America, but all so-called white people, man. Okay. So this man is his alliances. Okay, his allies are finding out that the American Edomite, right? Not Isaiah, but I keep calling Isaiah, but Daniel 7, his look was more stout than his fellows. I mean, he's more proud than the rest of the Edomite nations, man. And I'm talking about the United States of America, Babylon the Great. And these nations see it, his allies see it, and eventually Revelation 17 and 16 is going to take place, man. Okay, and I'm going to close out with that one. So let's keep playing. Because she brought up naked ignorance. All right.
This hugely matters, and it feels to me like it means it's an indication that's very hard to recover from this. But what do you think?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I told my team today, please print me out Mark Carney's speech, which I have read. I actually brought it in the green room. It's a stunning speech. It's a strong speech from the middle countries who feel disrespected, but they do not feel powerless. And they are not powerless. So I very much respect Mark Carney's words. And it's so sad that we've come to that point. Can you imagine our closest trading partner, Canada? One of our greatest trading partners, Denmark. When we go back, and we had the privilege of laying a wreath at the flame where the 50 names of those who died, Danish soldiers who died, people who were 40 years old, senior soldiers down to young people who died in the service of our country. They fought and died along with us. So we were there to mark that. One of the most stunning things that we heard was from the Greenlandic members of Parliament. And one of them said, do you know what's going on in our country, in our territory, on our beautiful island? Our children are going to bed afraid of the Americans. They are sleepless. When planes came into the base, they said, is that the Americans coming to get us? Honest to God, this is a NATO ally of 75 years. The other inane things, the things that are so...
See, their allies are scared, man. So if you're scared of your own ally, what are you going to do? You're either going to submit, okay, or you're going to go against your ally, and he's going to become an enemy. And these nations are going to turn on the United States of America, man. Okay? It's written in prophecy. Once again, Revelation 17. And once again, I will close out with that. All right? Bible prophecy is speaking. Okay? And it's going to continue to speak even when we in the kingdom. Okay? You people are going to know that who shame the prophets, mock the prophets. You people are going to feel the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashmi Shah when these judgments come upon this place, man. All right, especially in the form of thermonuclear missiles. Okay, that's compared to the weight of a talent. Okay, which could be between 75 pounds and 200 pounds, man. All right, that's what John the Revelator seen on the island of Patmos. He seen missiles. He didn't see missiles, but he seen objects, okay, falling from the sky, like a star falling from the sky, pelting the United States of America. He's seen 200,000 nuclear warheads, man. All right, and we see it coming, okay. So let's keep playing.
Unhinged. The president revealed today in his comments he is untethered to reality. He is uncaring about history. He couldn't care less about friendships, allies, partnerships, economic, geographic, political, military, whatever they are. And his idiotic, mistaken 4 or 5 times talking about Greenland, his obsession, and calling it Iceland. We're in a world of hurt. The good news is today that fortunately through that conversation, and this is literally what we did. As I said, Republican senators were with us, and Democratic senators, and members of the House Democrats. And we said in meetings, private, closed, or even more open, there must be a framework to work this out. And then you saw a concept of a framework for this president. I'm reminded that that Hans Christian Andersen was the native son of Denmark, and he wrote the tale, The Emperor's New Clothes. And we know about that. I thought about that so much, sadly, in the first administration and in this administration. I have a beautiful illustrated version of it. The Emperor's New Clothes, and you know what goes on there. The Emperor wants the most gorgeous of suits, and so his courtiers hire thieves, frankly, and they show them on the loom this beautiful fabric, the most beautiful fabric of all. Of course, there's no fabric whatsoever. But the courtiers can't believe the truth because they're afraid to tell it to this mad emperor. And you know who tells the mad emperor? Children. As he walks through the streets and he's naked. The children of Denmark have called out the nakedness of this president, his naked ignorance of history, facts of allies, partners of NATO, the nakedness of wanting to possess an ally. They're not an asset. They're an ally.
Congresswoman Eileen, now we're all going to think about that story. That's
See, naked ignorance, man. So let me grab a couple more precepts because I know I said I was going to close out with Revelation 17, but it also mentions naked and Habakkuk, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it Nahum? This is the book of, yep, this is the book of Nahum, right? Chapter 3 and verse 5. And this applied to ancient Nineveh. Now, America is also known as ancient Nineveh today. Okay? This is the book of Nahum 3 and 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame, man. Okay, see, this is what the Lord is doing to the United States of America. What he's doing is exposing this place, all the filthy, wicked, abominable things that it has done and is continuing to do. So when he brings judgments upon this place, it's going to be justified. Okay? So let's go. And he's going to use other nations to bring that judgment upon this place, specifically the EU and the NATO. Revelation chapter 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. The 10 horns and the beast represent the NATO and the EU. The 10 horns represents the EU. The beast represents NATO. These shall hate the whore. Who's the whore? The United States of America. Because the whore controls the NATO and the EU. Okay? It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And that's what's going to take place real soon to the United States of America for its unrighteous decrees, its abominable actions, okay, and its nastiness and its unruliness, man. Okay, so I'm gonna close out. Lord willing, this is edifying to one of the Lord's elect. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, and double honor to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Kwam Yashar Allah Shalom, Wa Abba Babal.